Hello, Phoenix families. Welcome to the new school year. My name is Ms. Green, and I will be your student science teacher for this year. I look forward to getting to know all of you, including your students. I hope that you're able to get to know me as well and how goofy I can be, but hopefully how skilled I can be within my content area. And to kind of give you an idea of who I am before we get to meet, let me show you this super brief intro. Can get it up. I promise. All right. So a little bit about me. First things first, here is my contact information. You can take it from this slide here, or you can access it within the syllabus itself. My name is Caitlin Green, that's my government name. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My room number is listed right here. Let me see if I can actually move my little bubble here so you can see better. And this is my email address and my phone number. My preferred method of contact for students, I would really prefer if they message me through Edsby. It just makes things a little bit easier in terms of being able to attend to guardians versus student questions and concerns. And so guardians, please go ahead and use my email to contact me. I do have tutoring hours. The science department does have tutoring all throughout the week. My particular day is going to be on Friday from after school, so about 3:10 until 4 p.m. I do offer tutoring on other days besides that, but I would like if students could please request those tutoring sessions through our Google form, which will be found on our Google Classroom. That just helps me be able to, again, just kind of keep things organized and have different places for very specific things. The Google Classroom code will be given on our Edsby page. And so once students have that code, they can join. The reason I don't post it here is because I don't want my block 5 students being able to jump in during block 1 where they should not be. And so with Edsby, it's very more distinct in which blocks get what information. So I'll post that. And so keep posted on that. So for me, I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force for 24 years, so for most of my life, we moved around all over the world, but where we settled was Tucson, Arizona. It's about 2 hours south of the capital of Arizona, Phoenix, and 2 hours north of the Mexican border. It's such a unique town because of that culturally and environmentally as well. I didn't really have an appreciation for the desert until I got a little bit older, but here are my folks right here, and I have that crazy look on my face because it is senior night at my high school. My high school was a college prep in Tucson, and I am the first in my family to go to college and to complete college. And so this was a really crucial step in my life in getting the support at school and getting those connections to university, starting young. And so it makes my job here at Brooks even that more important to me, is understanding the types of opportunities having folks to support you to that pathway to college success can be. And so here's my brother. He's my best friend. His name is Nico. And yeah, like we're thick as thieves. You can see when we were younger, we were trying to start up our band, which we're still trying to do. I miss him a lot. He lives in Tucson still with my folks. And so we try and utilize 21st century means of communication like FaceTime, as well as playing online board games, sometimes video games while FaceTiming. And I feel bad for our neighbors because my brother and I can get pretty loud laughing and coming up with jokes and stuff. So I miss him a lot, but he's my biggest supporter and I really would not be here without him. And so here I am. So first graduate in my family. I graduated from the University of Arizona with my degree in environmental science with an emphasis in land, air, and water processes. And so this was such a huge deal and such a huge obstacle overcome for sure. I had no idea what I was doing, but like I said, I did have some support and help elsewhere. And so since I had graduated, I did have various jobs within the science field in which I was able to really kind of develop a robust understanding of science, the nature of science, and how to practice science. And so through these experiences, I actually learned that I very much like the people component, the person-to-person interaction. And so teaching was kind of an obvious go-to, especially with a little bit of nudging of those same supporters in my life. And so with having science background, I was accepted into this scholarship program called the Noyce Scholarship. And so I'm a Noyce Scholar, and what that means is I received money from the National Science Foundation, which completely funded my tuition to go to the University of South Florida and study science education with a focus in chemistry. This picture here is me actually in Washington, D.C. last summer, being able to present climate change and how it can be sort of taught and I don't know, give like a hands-on component with not only using computational models showing climate change trends, but actually having a physical model to back up those things as well. And so this was such an awesome experience being able to be in our nation's capital and talk about something that is, you know, fortunately hugely controversial, but hugely important. And so it was something really exciting. And so I did graduate from the University of South Florida. He's my father-in-law. And so another big accomplishment being a first-generation college student, not only did I have 1 degree, I had 2. And so my folks are really thrilled. They wonder where in the heck I got the motivation and sort of resilience to be able to endure getting 2 degrees. But, you know, it really comes back to that support. And then I would be remiss if I did not bring up my my little Chiweenie rescue. Her name is Winnie. She's currently 6 months old, and she is just so cute and adorable and sweet. I've always had dogs growing up, and so this is going to be the first time I have a dog kind of on my own. So it's a really exciting journey. She is chaotic and mischievous, but just as loving and sweet and happy. You can see how she's wagging her tail right here. It's a blur. She's constantly wagging her tail. And so thank you for listening about me. Hopefully this gives you an idea of where I'm coming from in terms of how I teach. I definitely want to be able to make, you know, little global citizens out of my students, make them have the sort of fire within them to want to make wide sweeping and lasting change in a world that is, you know, positive, obviously, but also, you know, just allowing them to understand they don't need to be scientists to be scientifically literate and to, you know, be able to make informed decisions based on credible sources and data, right? They should be able to interpret that and be able to make decisions about the world they want to live in. And so, yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll go ahead and get to the next part of the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Honors Environmental Science syllabus. Let me pull this up for y'all. Oh, I guess it would help if I shared my screen. Let me do that. So share, Honors Enviro. Awesome. So let me make this nice and big. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here's our syllabus. This will be the same information that I provided for you at the beginning of the video, but of course you'll have access to it on the syllabus. Sorry, that's my pup Winnie. She's a little upset because she hears me talking and is wondering why I'm not paying attention to her. And so tutoring, again, we're gonna do it by appointment, but I will be having regularly scheduled tutoring hours on Fridays. The Google Classroom code again won't be posted until we have our ESB up and going. Let's go down some pertinent information. So the main goals of Honors Environmental Science is going to be talking about energy, interactions between Earth systems, interactions between different species in the environment, and sustainability. And so environmental science is multidisciplinary, meaning multiple fields of science, poor thing, come into play. And so that's biology, chemistry, geology, physics. There's so many different fields that are utilized to explain how the environment works, what are the natural sort of patterns and effects within the environment. And then of course the anthropogenic or people caused effects. And so we kind of utilize all of these different lenses in which to really investigate sort of what's happening within our environment. And so one thing I did want to point out within my syllabus that might be different than other syllabi that you have been looking at is, I just passed it, is going to be this bit right here about plagiarism. And so mine is going to state that you cannot copy work from yourself, which might be weird to hear about, but this is a college prep high school, and within, you know, the college environment, university environment, when a student goes to turn in work, it's usually through some interface that checks for plagiarism. And if you've turned in that bit of work before, meaning, you know, in a past course or in a current course you're taking, but it's different than the one that you're submitting for, it will be flagged as plagiarized. And so they'll be able to see, of course, that it is by you, but they still will consider it plagiarized, and those penalties will sort of kick in. So I want students to get into the habit of not recycling their work, so to say. And so with that, you know, I just want to have students kind of on I don't know, on their best game in terms of, you know, being able to analyze information and then synthesize, so create an idea or a solution from that information. Another thing I did want to show is our late work policy. And so I will be accepting late work just because I want to be flexible, especially now. And so the biggest thing is going to be sort of my scheme here. For unexcused absences and missed deadlines, each full class period that a student misses turning in that late assignment, they're going to lose 10%. So that means on the due date, they have, the highest possible score they can get is 100%. Doesn't mean they will, but that's the highest possible. The next full class period I see them, it drops down 10% to 90% being the highest. And then the next class period, so that would be, in this example, the next Monday, it drops another 10%. And so if the assignment project, whatever it is not turned in by that point, I will no longer accept that work. Just to be fair to the students that, were able to turn in their work on time, but also to be fair to myself, because, I want to make sure I have enough time to devote to give useful feedback to students. And if, we're a week past when it should have been due, that feedback might not be as useful, especially if we have other, activities or assignments that build off of that initial one. It's going to be really important that we get those assignments in as soon as we can. And so for excused absences, I would like for students to contact me within 3 school days. So not necessarily full class periods, but 3 school days. So in this example, if a student returns back to school on a Wednesday after they've been absent, they have that full school day, Thursday and Friday, to just get into contact with me. And so I prefer if it would be through our Google form, which can be utilized for unexcused and excused absences. But if that student wants to email me or a guardian wants to reach out and email me, that's okay too. But if no contact at all happens within those three days, that work is now unexcused. So then kicks in our unexcused policy. And so same thing, that means the next full class period I see that student, that's their due date. If they miss that, they can turn it in up to 2 full class periods afterwards, but it will lose 10%, whatever it is that they're trying to turn in. Here are the BDCHS policies that are very, very similar. For the grading scheme, we're going to be 60%, 40%, 60% being assessments. So this could be tests, quizzes, sort of bigger things like projects and presentations, and then participation and homework. We are looking at 40%. Extra credit will not be extended to individual students, but periodically I might extend bonus points to the entire class. For our course supplies, we do have a textbook, but that will be provided via PDF. Students need a scientific calculator, but that's usually probably already acquired due to math courses, a computer tablet with internet, camera, and microphone access to our course website, which will probably change to a Google site, and I will update y'all on that soon. And so we have our course outline, which you can look at later. For this chunk, laboratory and field research. So, learning science is by doing science, and unfortunately we're kind of limited in that regard. And so in terms of hands-on activities, in terms of doing labs or field experiences, those are going to be put on hold for a little bit, just to keep everybody safe. I'm hoping at some point within the school year that we're able to return to doing these activities safely. And so I just want to have this information there so y'all are kind of aware of what is expected within the lab or field environment. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get back there. And so lastly, I wanted to show you our agreement here. So this is going to be an agreement for both the syllabus as well as the lab and field safety agreement. And so this can be submitted electronically one of 2 ways. The first being that you go ahead and print this document and the student and one of their guardians will sign and then scan it and get it back to me. Or alternatively, you can click on this little link here and that will take you to a Google form that will be able to get verification of student and guardian acknowledging this agreement. And so, yeah, I highly encourage you to take a look at this document. It is a living document, so it might be altered from time to time, but I will most certainly update everyone involved as to what those changes are. But in the meantime, thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk, and I really do look forward to meeting all of you. Take care.